Do you have the winning mindset? Do you know what it takes to go to the next level? Are you ready for the adventure of a lifetime? Join us every week for the Winning Mindset Podcast.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to another episode of the Winning Mindset Podcast. We have a treat for the people today. If you're not here, make sure you come back and listen to this great podcast interview. Today, we have one of the Winning Mindset authors, Mr. House Tabrizi. We're going to bring him on in, and I'm telling you, you want to jump in on this with Miss Christian and I am Monica Earl Washington, and we're going to jump right into this great episode of the Winning Mindcast. Miss Christian, I'm gonna turn it over to you so we can get right on in here with Mr. House Tabrizi.
Well, thank you, Miss Nisi and Haas. We are super excited to talk with you today. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Thanks for having me. Excited to be here.
Of course, of course. So we'll start with the basics. Tell us a little bit about you and your background and things you've accomplished so far.
Talking about accomplishments is never fun. So I will just say I'm the father of Maximus, Mia, and Michael, and they're my greatest accomplishment. They are successful at whatever they do. They're happy and they live great lives. So that's my greatest accomplishment. And with that, I love helping people. I love coaching. I coach a lot of sports. I coach all three of my kids in whatever sport they do. And with that, I truly enjoy when I go to their school. Every second, third, or fourth kid is a kid I know, is a kid I've interacted with. And so with that, just being able to teach them my passion for sports, or just making them better people, or just actually the biggest thing is teaching my mindset to them. And so a lot of that is done through sports. You see things differently. You have a lot of adversity in sports. You lose a lot in sports, and so just being able to instill values and things that are different from someone that's different than their father is who I am. And then on the daily basis, I have my own financial planning practice. So I help people become what they want to become financially. And it's a lot of it is just the winning mindset. So when you do financial planning, you have to have a goal in mind, which I talk about. When you're having a mindset, you have to figure out what you really want. You have to have a goal in mind is one of the first things I say when in my chapter. But then just you're going to have issues in your finances. You're going to have issues in life. Like the market's going to go down. The referee's going to make a bad call. There's going to be illnesses. There's going to be things that's going to happen. You just need to be resilient. And just if you want something, you got to work hard, and everything with the winning mindset is learning. There's no losing. It's all about learning and growing. So I try to teach those things to as many people as I can. I try not to give unsolicited advice. It's hard, but the interactions on a daily basis, I truly cherish and enjoy being able to just help people.
Awesome. And you've already given me a few things to write down here to circle back to, so that's perfect. Talk to us a little bit about some obstacles you've encountered that also kind of helped shape you into who you are.
So there's thousands or millions of obstacles in my life. Genuinely, when I have one, my mindset is, okay, what's next? Bring it on. Nothing is permanent. Nothing is too drastic. Obviously there are things that are like losing a family member or something like that. But if it's a challenge from work, if it's a challenge financially, if it's a challenge in a relationship, those are all fixable. And so I think with my mindset that I wish more people would have is, if something was given to you and it's going to be very difficult, okay, well, I see it, I hear it, I'm going to relax, I'm going to figure out how I'm going to defeat it. And if I can't defeat it, this isn't a quitting mindset, but okay, it wasn't meant to be today. It wasn't meant to be. I'm going to go at it again. And so a lot of that mindset, I instill it in my kids, where right now it's basketball season and you'll see my kids, they could barely make baskets on an 8-foot rim. But I would say, well, Michael Jordan is shooting 500 shots a day, or was shooting 500 shots a day, and you're not shooting. So if you go shoot, you might not make them in the beginning. You might barely hit the rim. That's my 5-year-old kid barely hitting the rim. And he made a basket on a 10-foot rim the other day. So it's just he could have had the losing mindset, but in his winning mindset, he knows, he's like, I'm a Tabrizi, I can do anything I want. And that's really important to have in every interaction in your life.
I love that. And you've kind of touched on some of this already, but I'll formally ask you the question, what does a winning mindset mean to you specifically? And you can kind of touch here on maybe a little bit more what you've written in the book, or give us some snippets, or, some pointers.
So having a winning mindset means having the right mindset. You're never defeated. You're actually undefeated. So I have people in my life that are negative or pessimistic. Glass is not even half full, it's empty. And that's a very hard way to live. I don't understand it, because for me, there's no clock saying that it's over. So for me, let's say you're 40 and you're single. That is not a fun situation to be in if you want to be married. If you want to be single, then more power to you. Being single is also a fun thing. But if it's not what you want, staying at home and doing nothing about it isn't the right way to go. Being upset about it isn't the right way to go. Okay, so you don't like it, have a goal in mind. The goal is, I want to go and find someone that has similar likes and desires as me. Okay, well, get out of your house, get dressed up, or find a Zoom online, whatever it is. I don't know what kids do these days, but get yourself out of the rut. Be resilient. You're going to have bad dates. You got to work hard. You got to keep doing it until you achieve your goal. And then, as I said, if you know it's going to happen, speaking it into existence is something I believe. So I'm going to make sure this happens until it gets done. And it's very hard from a sports perspective to play against someone like that. So you can have a 30-point lead, or since it's World Cup time right now, a 3-goal lead in soccer. And if you have someone with a winning mindset, it's like, we're going to come back. We're going to make it 3-1. We're going to make it 3-2. We're going to make it 3-3. And I'm going to crush you. And so playing someone like that, that's exhausting. And so it's a contagious thing to have on your teams. It's a contagious, and not just sports teams, your professional teams. It's a contagious feeling to have in your family. So if you can instill and pass that along to people near you, I know it's hard if you don't have a winning mindset. It could be like, this person's annoying, it's leave me alone. But seeing something come to fruition, I think, builds that confidence. And so I live the winning mindset.
I love that too. That's big. You live the winning mindset. I like that you said, hey, you can have these dreams, but you have to do something, whatever that is. So very good advice. I'm going to take it a little bit further and ask you now, can you describe a circumstance in which you had to demonstrate that winning mindset that you have?
I mean, there's thousands of them every day. There's something that needs it. I'll talk about my mom. So my mom has advanced stage 4 cancer, and there are times where it didn't sound like she would last longer than a week or two. And it's hard when you have advanced cancer. It hurts a lot, and there's bad news. Sometimes there's good news, but there's often bad news. And my mom a couple weeks ago was told by her surgeon, man, this isn't good. Like you should be able to walk by now. And my mom still uses a walker. She had her femur replaced with a rod because one of her cancers is bone cancer. And so the doctor's like, we need to have a panel and meet with all the cancer oncologists and figure out why you haven't healed there, because we've done radiation there. There's so much cancer there. Like we're surprised that you're not healed. And so I heard from my mom that her physical therapist said she can go to the doctor said she can go to the pool and push it a little bit. So I was like, okay, Mom, I have an elliptical machine in my house, and I will get that upstairs, since she can't go up and down the stairs that well. I will get that upstairs, and you're going to go on the elliptical, and it's going to stink. It's going to hurt. It's going to be really hard because she can't move her hip up like this, which is why she can't walk. But you're going to do it, and it's going to be for a minute, and it's going to be really difficult, but you're going to do it again after that, and you're going to do it again after that. And then soon enough, you're going to be able to get rid of your walker, and you're going to start using a cane. And then soon after that, you're going to get rid of your cane. And so she did it. She hurt. Her physical therapist was like, what are you doing to your mom? That's pushing it. Well, she did that for 4 or 5 straight days. It hurt. It wasn't fun to go to the elliptical, and she uses a cane now. And so it's a mindset. Like, the doctors say she's not well, she's sick. Oh my gosh, what's going? No, my mom's mindset is I don't even have cancer. And that's the change that's happened to her recently. And so with that, it really, what other battle is bigger than that? And so to have that mindset with that, it really helps her every day.
Thank you for sharing that. I know that's definitely difficult. And for a lot of us, we complain about a lot of things and say, oh, I don't want to do this. I don't want to get up and do this. And that is a huge example of, okay, this is a huge thing, and this is how someone's planning to overcome it. That's definitely an example of the winning mindset for sure.
Yeah, I mean, just the other day, I pushed her a little too much, but I got my stopwatch out and I timed her. I'm like, you're going to go from this telephone pole to this telephone pole. If my daughter has to go run time miles and my kids have to do it, then Nana has to do it too. And she was so tired after, but man, she probably felt like a champion just from doing it. So
that's the thing, on that other side of whatever it is, when you get to that other side, you're like, oh man, that was horrible, but I'm over here now. So
thank you. Next.
Absolute kudos to her too, because that is, of course, that's tough, but it's good when you have people around you that are not gonna because it is very easy to give up sometimes and say, forget it. I'm just gonna, whatever happens, happens. But it's good to have people around and say, nope, not gonna let you. Let's keep pushing.
And I mean, the winning mindset came from my mom and dad, so it's not as if it's foreign to them. So she obviously has that mentality and toughness. It's a nice reminder. That's why that contagious part is important, because you'll raise each other and just push each other.
Yes, Ms. Nisi, did you want to add anything? I saw you start smiling big.
I just want to say that everybody needs to read his chapter, because he said a couple of things. He said that the winning mindset came from his mother and from his parents, and it wasn't foreign to them. So then it comes back years later, and then he put it back in her. So you took a situation, and I kind of wrote some notes here. I'm sorry, because I did. Where the doctors were saying one thing. So, and then I heard you said you had to speak some things into existence, and then having the goal in mind, and then working hard to achieve the goal. So you basically took that power away from the doctors and put it in your hand and reversed it. And you gave her warning that it may hurt, it may be a little difficult, but she's on a cane. So they have to come back and listen to this podcast, but they definitely need to read the chapter in this book, because it's like, what is the real secret to winning? That's a good way to that you just set the stage. That was just too much for me, because first when you hear about stage 4 cancer, advanced cancer, you get a little sad.
Yeah.
It's you get a little sad, and I was like, listen, I was like, and I had to go back and look at my notes. Look, did I write it down right? And then you came back and you confirmed it. And then when you said what the doctor said they could do, what you took from them, you took the power and took your own faith. And I know you got some things in here about a little bit things about the mindset, and you had a few steps in here, what's more important, what makes you a winner, and a little bit talking about God. So you took that power from man and just said, this is what's happening, Mom, but this is going to happen. We're doing this. And she's on a cane, so she's walking. So that's what I wanted to say. That was powerful for me. So thank you.
Thank you, Miss Nisi. And one thing to add, when you said all that, there are bad days. There's bad news, and it bothers me. It bothers my mom. Like, we're human. So having a winning mindset doesn't mean there isn't negativity in my head. There isn't negativity in her head. We all have it. It's what you do with it. Does it occupy your mind the whole time? Does it control you? You have to get a grasp on it, then hit the reset button and reset it and put the GPS in the right direction. It's not just, okay, it's over. They said I can't walk anymore, or well, they're up so much in that game, I can't, there's nothing I can do. It's like, okay, they did this, reset. This is what we're good at. This is what we're going to do. We're going to come back. Not a problem. Nothing's over. So for people that are negative, we all have the negativity in our head. I promise that people won't admit it. They're too strong to admit it, but we all have it. It's just what you do with it that matters.
Wow. Yeah. That's a boom for me. Boom to the boom. That's a boomity boom now for me. Yeah.
I appreciate you saying that, hey, it doesn't mean you're not going to have negative thoughts, because a lot of times people think that when you're working on manifesting and speaking things into existence and positivity, that it means nothing bad will ever happen. And I get that a lot as a therapist too, because they'll say, this isn't working, I feel bad still. I'm like, yeah, that's a given. You're gonna have bad things happen. You're gonna feel negativity. It's I'm teaching you how to work through that, the resiliency, like you said earlier, but it doesn't mean bad things won't happen. And we sometimes forget that as humans, but like you said, it's a human emotion. And I always say, being angry, being sad, being upset, these are actually good things. People think the feelings are bad, but having those negative feelings are actually really good, because that's an evolutionary trait, and it teaches you that something's wrong and you need to adjust. So having the feelings are actually really good. You interpret them and say, okay, this is the adjustment I need to make because I feel this way. So if you didn't have those negative feelings, you wouldn't know when it's time to pivot or adjust. So having them, like you said, is not bad. It's what we do with it after we have the emotion or the feeling.
Spot on. And being honest with it is probably the hardest part. And so I think those with the winning mindset, that they are able to hear it, listen to it, let it do what it's supposed to do. Maybe it just pushes you even more. I asked my daughter, she was going in the woods with her grandpa, who's a retired colonel, at night. And I was like, are you scared? And she's like, that doesn't make me scared. I was like, what makes you scared? She's like, nothing. I was like, it's okay to be a little scared. Like if you're scared of your opponent or this and that. She's like, I haven't been scared yet in my life. I was like, okay. Well, sometimes if nervousness happens, that might push you to play better. So don't be afraid when that time comes. That little things will fuel you not just words from opponents. So emotions will oftentimes, unfortunately, make things worse, but in the right form, it will definitely fuel you even better. So thank you, Miss Therapist.
Yeah. The therapist cosigns. Yeah, if you take those feelings and you know what to do with them because they're telling you something, then it could turn out a lot better. And I like that. I'm going to use that. Don't be afraid of those hard emotions and those hard feelings because they're there to teach you stuff. So we have a lot of folks that just don't want to feel anything, understandable, because it's not pleasant sometimes, but you have to feel it. You have to sit with it. So for everyone listening, you got to sit with it. You can't go around it. You got to sit with it and go through it.
Good.
Right. So, what are some things or some events that you have coming up or some things that you're working on that you might want to tell everyone about?
Also don't like, same thing as the beginning, don't like talking about myself. I talk with some sports teams here and there. I have a big talk coming soon in the next 6 months. I do a sports show every Sunday on 93.7 The Ticket, The Breeze, where we talk about sports and WWE type wrestling. Me and DP get to just have fun and just, it's like hanging out in the living room, just talking about stuff. So, and then from a career perspective, just, it's really cool to have the best year ever for multiple years in a row, despite the pandemic, despite the markets being the way they are. And so just meeting really good people and helping their businesses or their own personal planning is pretty fun. So, but I guess the one thing that we don't want to let some of the secrets out. So if you enjoy how I speak, tune into 93.7 The Ticket on Sundays. It's 12 Central Time, and you can catch us just making you laugh.
That sounds like a really good time. I'm gonna have to check it out myself. I knew it was there, but I haven't gotten a chance to check you guys out. So I will definitely be doing that. And do you also want to share your social media handles or your websites if you have any?
Yeah, you can visit hosstabrizi.com. You can see some of the books that I've helped co-author or watch some of the videos that help inspire people. And then if you want a speaking engagement from that, you can reach out and our team can set something up. If you look for my name, Haas Tabrizi in LinkedIn or Facebook or Instagram, or tabrizi.haas on Twitter, just happy to connect.
All right. Well, if you don't have anything else, Miss Nisi, then it looks like we are going to wrap up. And I just want to thank you again, Haas, for taking some time out to talk with us and dropping some gems. Everyone remember that he also has a chapter in our book, The Winning Mindset, and make sure you get a copy to see what else he's dropped in there for you. Thank you so much, Haas.
Thank you, Miss Nisi. Thank you, Miss Kristen.